Annette, is everything okay? You look really tired.
It's that obvious? Well, you're right. I am tired. Last night, I pulled an all-nighter writing a paper for my psych class.
Did you finish it?
Yeah, and just in the nick of time. I emailed it to my professor 5 minutes before the deadline.
Well, that was close. Are you going home now?
No, I have to hurry to my history class. See you later. Alan, I'm really in hot water. My history teacher gave us a surprise quiz and I couldn't remember anything. My mind went totally blank. I didn't even want to hand in my quiz because I knew everything was wrong. Oh, I can't believe this. I'm going to get an F on a test.
That happened to me once, but it wasn't a surprise quiz. I just got the date of the test wrong, so I didn't study. I took the test cold and didn't do well.
What grade did you get?
I think I got a C.
Well, at least a C is passing. I'm going to get an F.
Listen, Annette, you need to take it easy. For all you know, you passed the quiz. So why don't you go home and take a nap?
That's a good idea, but I have another class at 2, and we're going to have a test. I need to go to the library to hit the books.
What a day you're having.
You can say that again.
Hi, guys. Come on in.
Thanks. It's so good to see you. And here, we brought some popcorn.
Oh, you're so thoughtful. What a great idea. Here, let me take your coats. And come in and make yourselves comfortable. I'm so glad we can finally get together.
So are we. It's been such a long time. So tell me, what movies are we going to see tonight?
Well, we have two very old and famous ones, a comedy and a murder mystery. Want to guess what they are?
Surprise us. But can we see the comedy first? I'm in the mood for something funny after a hard week at work.
Well, that makes 2 of us. I don't feel like watching anything serious. Hey, I heard that it's healthy to laugh.
I heard that too. There was something on TV about that. Comedians were performing in hospitals.
Yeah, I saw that. It was really interesting.
That reminds me. Yesterday, my sister told me that Michael and I are couch potatoes because we watch so much TV. But do you think we're couch potatoes if we watch good shows?
Come on, Susan. It doesn't matter what we watch. It's true that we spend a lot of time sitting on the couch and watching show after show.
Listen, there's no need to worry about being a couch potato tonight. We all need to relax, so let's watch a movie. The comedy first.
After watching the 2 movies... Well, it's getting late and we should be going.
You two know how to pick good movies. Both were great. Thank you.
Our pleasure. And it was really great seeing you. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us. Next time, come over to our place and we'll surprise you with a couple of great classics.
Sounds good. See you guys. Get home safe and sound.
What's eating you?
What do you mean? I'm fine.
No, you aren't. Come on. Whatever it is, get it off your chest.
Well, see that woman over there? Her name's Elizabeth. I've been trying to find a way to meet her for months, and now here she is, but I don't have the guts to walk over there.
Come on, Bill. This is your chance. Just give it a shot. What do you have to lose?
She wouldn't be caught dead with me.
Why do you say that?
Oh, let's just skip it, okay? I don't know why I even told you.
How do you know her anyway?
We work in the same building.
Well, I think you should just bite the bullet, go over there, and start a conversation.
Maybe later.
Why put it off? Who knows? You two might hit it off.
That'll be the day.
Why are you so negative all of a sudden? I've never seen you like this.
Maybe you're right. I should just take the initiative and walk over there. But what should I say?
Now you're talking. Just introduce yourself and start talking about the party, or mention that you've seen her at work. She's bound to recognize you too.
Well, maybe. Oh, you're probably right. If I pass up this chance, I'll never forgive myself. Well, here I go. Wish me luck.
Yikes!
What happened?
I can't believe it. All of a sudden, a kid just ran in front of that waitress and she almost dropped her tray.
What?
Yeah, look. The parents are just sitting there while their kid's totally out of control.
What? I can't hear you.
It's so noisy in here.
I said his parents aren't paying any attention to him at all. I don't think they have a clue that he's causing trouble.
Well, this is just what we need after going through all the trouble of getting a babysitter. I thought we came here to eat in peace for once.
Maybe we should just go somewhere else. It's taking forever to get our food anyway.
That's not a bad idea.
Uh-oh. It's too late. Our food's coming.
Sorry for the wait.
That's okay. You're really busy tonight. I saw what just happened with that kid. You have a pretty dangerous job.
Yeah, unfortunately, not all parents keep their kids under control, but I guess that's part of the job.
Well, we'd never put up with that kind of behavior from our kids. I have nothing against taking kids to restaurants, but the bottom line is that kids need to learn how to behave, especially in public.
Oh, look, here comes the manager. I think he's going to talk to them. I wonder if he's going to ask them to leave.
This coffee is really strong.
I like it that way.
So do I. All during my last class, I was thinking about coming here and could almost taste the coffee.
Sounds like it wasn't too exciting.
I was bored to death. I'm in that class only because it's a requirement, so I have to stick it out. The problem is, the professor doesn't know how to spark our interest. She just walks in and lectures. There's no discussion.
What a drag. Don't people ask questions?
Oh yeah, once in a blue moon. But I always see an awful lot of people doodling, and I can tell their minds are wandering. Do you have any classes like that?
I have only one big lecture class, World History, and the professor's the best. It's so interesting. I'm always on the edge of my seat. And when we have discussions, the room is filled with electricity.
I'm jealous. Too bad I already took history.
You know, one day it dawned on me that I was lucky to be in her class because I found myself thinking a lot about what she said. Did you ever have a teacher like that?
I'd have to think about it. I don't know.
You should come with me to class sometime, just to see what I mean.
Sounds like you're in love with her, Steve.
Very funny. She could be my grandmother. Anyway, I guess what it really comes down to is her enthusiasm for the subject. She just loves history. I remember at the beginning of the semester, I was fooling around a lot and not taking anything in school very seriously. I bombed the first history test, but then I buckled down because I started really enjoying school, especially her class.
You've got me really curious about this teacher. I think I'll take you up on your idea to visit your class. When does it meet?
Hello, young man. What brings you to this neck of the woods?
Actually, I was wondering if I could interview you for my newspaper.
Me? About what?
Well, we're doing a series of articles on the homeless, and
And you want to know what happened to me, what I live on, what it's like to live from hand to mouth?
Yeah, I do want to know. Would you be willing to tell me your story?
You got about 3 hours?
Whatever we need.
Well, then go ahead and sit down.
Thanks. Let's see. Well, first, I'd like to ask you...
No questions. Just listen. You think I grew up poor, don't you? That I don't have an education. But you're dead wrong. I have a college degree. I worked for a big company. My parents would turn over in their graves if they could see me now.
But how...
I said no questions. Just sit still and listen. In the beginning, I got up at 5 a.m. every day and was at work by 7. And I stayed at the office till 8 in the evening. 13 hours! That was the only way I could keep up with all the work. It just never let up. I never saw my family very much because when I got home, I usually went straight to bed. Well, I guess I was doing a pretty good job because I kept moving up the ladder. I became a manager and got more money, but I also had to work even more hours, and weekends too. You can imagine that my wife never stopped complaining. She told me I was getting burned out and had no time for a life.
That must have been really hard to hear.
Yeah, my marriage was at stake. So I went to my boss and asked for a vacation. He told me to wait 3 more months. He needed me there. So nothing changed. Day in and day out, I worked and worked. Eventually, my wife left. And guess what? The company closed down a year later. The economy was bad and I couldn't find another job. Over time, I lost everything. Hey, how many hours do you work a day? Too many, I'm sure. I just hope you know what you're doing.
Things could change for you, you know. You could start over. After all, you're educated.
That's wishful thinking, young man.
What's gotten into Michael? What's he doing?
I haven't the slightest idea. Look, he's coming over to us.
And these are for you.
What's the occasion?
You haven't heard? I won the lottery yesterday. $10 million.
$10 million? Come on, that's unheard of. Are you sure?
Beyond the shadow of a doubt. 6, 12, 22, 24, 25, and 28. I got every number. And it was the first time I ever bought a lottery ticket.
Beginner's luck, I guess. How do you feel?
I'm in shock, to say the least. This is really all beyond my comprehension. It hasn't sunk in yet. Maybe it never will.
Well, I've got to hand it to you. You sure look very calm. If I were in your shoes, I don't think I'd be able to stand still, let alone buy presents for people and have conversations with them.
I'm not so calm. I really have no idea what's in store for me. You know, right now my whole life's up in the air. I'm worried about making the most of this. I don't want all that money to go down the drain. I'm going to need some time to think.
Are you going to quit your job?
I can't say yet, but I won't rule it out.
Well, you're right not to make any quick decisions. And you know, you should be on the lookout for people who want to take advantage of you.
I know. I plan to be very, very careful.
Well, no matter what you do, with $10 million, you've got it made.
Oh no, this can't be happening.
Well, that certainly happened out of the blue. I wonder what's going on.
I'm going to ring the alarm. This is the last straw. I told them weeks ago to check this elevator. I would have been better off taking the stairs.
Do you mean this has happened before?
It sure has. It was a few weeks ago, but I wasn't in the elevator. Oh, if I'm cooped up in here really long, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm already at the end of my rope.
Well, for crying out loud, young man, don't lose your head. Just calm down, and I'm sure they'll get this thing started again as soon as they can.
You know, I knocked myself out to be on time for my meeting, and now look.
Complaining isn't going to help. We'll just have to make do here and be thankful that we have some light and some company.
Actually, you're right. I'm glad I'm not alone in here, or I'd be climbing the walls.
So you see, it could be a lot worse. Just please do me a favor and keep a level head. Let's just sit tight and wait for help.
How can you be so calm? It sounds like you've been stuck in elevators before.
Well, the truth is, this is my first time. But why should I panic? What good would it do? I don't want to dwell on things that scare me. I'd rather pass the time in here pleasantly.
How would that ever be possible?
We could tell each other our life stories. Who knows? We might even come through this as friends.
Huh?
We can help each other by doing something that'll distract us. Why don't you just sit down and tell me about yourself?
So, what do you think?
Well, it's nothing to write home about.
You must be kidding.
Why do you say that?
I think it's the best movie I've seen in years.
With all that violence?
It wasn't so violent.
It certainly was. There was blood in practically every scene. And sometimes the violence had no bearing on the story. It was just put in for audiences who like to see blood. I don't know how they can get away with showing so much detail.
Well, from my standpoint, there was a real anti-violence message in the movie. They showed how all that violence ended in tragedy.
But that's no excuse for being so graphic. Why did they have so many scenes with all that suffering?
Because it was an important part of the story.
Sorry, but that argument just doesn't hold water. You could cut some of those scenes out and still have your story. And as far as sending an anti-violence message, they can do that without making the audience sick.
Now you're really blowing this whole thing out of proportion.
Am I? Look at the crime statistics.
Listen, you know this subject is a bone of contention between us. We've had heated arguments about this kind of thing before.
Yes, too many. I sure hope that someday I'll get through to you.
All I know is I got my money's worth tonight.
Well, I'll agree that the story was engrossing, but all that blood and violence drives me up the wall.
Look, now we're back where we started. Let's just agree to disagree and go get a cup of coffee.
Dad, what time is it?
4.
4? Who knows what time that is for me? Boy, I have terrible jet lag. I can't keep my eyes open.
Well, I'm not going to let you sleep in the middle of the afternoon. Let's take a walk, and you can tell me about your trip.
I'm sorry, Daddy, but I'm too wiped out. I think I'll stretch out and take a little nap.
No naps. You know if you go to sleep now, you're going to wake up in the middle of the night. Come on, let's take a little walk around the block. Maybe you'll get a second wind.
I sure hope so. I missed you and Mom a lot. A year is a long time.
We missed you too, honey. But we knew that studying in another country was good for you.
Well, I sure had my ups and downs. Sometimes I even thought about coming home early, but I was determined to stick it out.
And I'm glad you did. But you didn't tell us you were having problems. What was so hard for you over there?
Oh, I don't think I can scratch the surface. There were times, especially in the winter, when I got really homesick. You know, it's hard to be away during holidays, but my friends were absolutely great, especially my roommate. Remember she took me home to her family? That really helped.
If we'd known how homesick you were, we would have hopped on a plane. Why didn't you let us know?
Oh, I didn't want you to worry, and it would have been too expensive. Anyway, in the spring, I got much better. It finally hit home that I was lucky to be living in another culture. I stopped thinking so much about my problems and got out of my rut. I started going to more parties and concerts and things like that. And listen to this. After a while, I didn't realize it, but my fluency improved. Can you imagine that there were times when I forgot I wasn't speaking English?
Wow, that's music to my ears. I knew you'd do it if you lived over there.
And to top that off, people started to compliment my pronunciation.
You don't want to lose all that, honey. Are there any conversation classes you can take here?
Dad, I wasn't going to broach the subject till later, but there's a chance that I can get a scholarship and go back next year.
Go back? But you just got home.
I know.
Do you really want to go back?
The truth is, I'm not sure. I need to sleep on it. Speaking of sleep, now can I take a little nap? I'm so sleepy.